Hello and welcome to my little curl 769.1 release stream. So I did a release stream last week and I thought it was going to be a short while until I did another one, but I didn't expect it to be this short. Hang on a second. So I did the 769.0 last week and it was a full 8-week release cycle. Everything was fine and dandy, and then people started to file bugs on the release, and it started. We got some crashes, some weird hangs on HTTP2 streams and crashes. So basically, I decided that we better fix a few of those most serious problems people reported early on with the release last week. So Friday, Saturday, something, I decided to do a patch release now to address the worst ones. And here we are. We actually then managed to merge no less than 27 bug fixes in this week. So quite a lot of things packed in. So yes, I wanted to say hi, and I want to go through a little bit about the most interesting bug fixes. So if you have any questions or anything, join the Twitch chat, ask me anything. Here is the Twitch chat in the screen. So this is So I waited the full weeks because I like to release on Wednesday. I give it a little time. I can get time to write my blog post about it, do the release notes and everything. So I waited the full 7 days, and here we are. So I pushed all the buttons earlier this morning. I tagged the code. I put up the tarballs. I signed everything. I uploaded it, and blah blah blah, all according to the process. And I posted my blog post, which I then got some time to prepare, 7.69.1. I actually got time to do that funky graphics too, because I'm such a graphic wizard. I'm joking. So, release number 190. We did it in 7 days then since the previous release. Quite unexpected. And I don't expect to... I shouldn't touch my face, right? In coronavirus days. I don't expect to change the release schedule for the coming releases or anything. So this extra release just means that we get 1 week less for the next release. So the next release cycle is going to be 7 weeks. So 3 weeks for merging features and 4 weeks for bug fixing. So if you have any grand features or changes you want to merge to curl before the next release, you have 3 weeks. Well, actually slightly less than 3 weeks, because we won't open the feature window until Monday. So 2.5 weeks to get them going. It should be fine, and if you don't get it in time, there's going to be another release and another release and another release and another. So we're not in a hurry, really. Okay, so 27 listed bug fixes in 7 days. Yeah, that's almost almost 4 per day. So first, then a little some words I wrote about how it come that I had to do this release. I didn't have to. I wanted to. None of the bugs that we got they weren't terribly serious. We could have survived and just said, because they only affected a fraction of our users, but we had crashes and some of the users got some really annoying hangs. So I figured we fixed them. And how come we can release a release number 189 after 21.9 years and still get a lot of problems when we release it? It is hard. We have a lot of use cases, and we don't cover, apparently, quite obviously, we don't cover them all in our test suites. It's test suite and suites and tests. So, and we've seen this over and over. If we try to release, and we provide daily snapshots of everything, so anyone can try curl at any point in time to figure out how it works exactly right now, but it never ever works. So even when we've tried to do official pre-releases or beta releases or whatever, it doesn't work because people are still waiting for the official release until they try it out. And when they try it out, they try it out on all those weird cases that we never try out ourselves. And we have quite a few users, so we make an effort to test everything, but it never fails that when people are actually trying the new release, everywhere we get bugs reported that we didn't anticipate and we didn't see ourselves. So, and again this time, and we of course then sort of go back, fix the bugs, try to add more tests to make sure that we cover these particular problems the next time, but it is hard. Anyway, no more about that. So here is 7.69.1. There are I wanted to just highlight some of the bugs fixes that we made this time, possibly the ones that actually were the reasons why this release is coming now and not in another 7 weeks. So first, I was so happy, and cheers. This is the release coffee. I'm having the release coffee before the stream this time. Last week I got the release coffee after the stream. Just as you know. So if you want to sort of join in the celebrations, you should have your release coffee right now. Well, I was very happy with my fix for HTTP2 streams, HTTP2 stream pausing, and turned out that I was a little bit prematurely happy because it was a bad fix, so I had to revert that, go back and fix it better. So I did that. I reverted the change completely, went back and did the change differently. Hopefully I didn't break HTTP2 in general this time. I'm pretty sure I didn't, because I did it more conservatively this time. And yeah, that was a bad regression. I'm saving the question, how's Wolf going? I work for Wolf SSL. I do curl support and curl stuff full time. It's cool, and I think it's a fun way to do open source. So I fixed that, and when I was in there and fiddling with the pause function, I'm going there. I'm perfectly set up here for my own, virus isolation situation. Since I work from home, I'm the only employee in Sweden, so I'm well isolated off from everyone else. Oh well, so back to I fixed the pause thing for HTTP2, and when I did that, I think that some users of the pause function could use it in bad sort of moments in time when they shouldn't use it, and I didn't really protect against that previously, so I added some extra precautions in the pause function to make it slightly more stable and reliable to application abuse and stuff like that. So I fixed a little other sort of related things in the pause function. And I was also very happy in my previous release stream a week ago how I fixed the SOX proxy connections to make them non-blocking, so that they would never block. And yeah, I've got all the test cases working, and we have a bunch of them. I thought they were fairly rigid and covered a lot of cases, but yay, I am that was not correct. They weren't really that good, or rather, there's this problem. State machine wise, we have to do things, wait for something to happen, and then go on. And one of those states, or actually two, because there were one for SOX 4 and one for SOX 5, is when you do SOX connection, you can still SOX is a proxy style, and when you do that, you can still ask curl to resolve the host name and then just pass on the IP address to the proxy. And that's one mode of operation with the SOX proxies that people apparently use. So, and if you do that in the test suite, that works, because in the test suite, of course, we use host names that resolve mostly instantly, right? So that it didn't really exercise the state machine correctly. So when people started to use that in the wild, instead of resolving instantly, it could have, if it took a few milliseconds to resolve the host name, the connection broke because my mistakes. I think it's better now. And I also found another regression. I don't know exactly when I introduced this regression. It might have been an older one, but SOX4 is an ancient protocol, and SOX4 only supports IPv4. So when you would resolve the host name to IPv4 and IPv6, it could actually accidentally use the IPv6 address instead of the IPv4 and would fail because it doesn't support IPv6. Anyway, now it's slightly better. So hopefully SOX connections are yet again better. Hopefully good enough now. So, and then we had a few other fixes coming. So when we had another patch release, we could just as well merge them, like this fixing of MD5 hex comparisons, which is when you connect to an SSH based in a SSH server, as if you want to do SCP or SFTP transfers, you can actually say, how to verify the server, and you have your hex key. You have actually a public key MD5 specified in hex numbers. That's more of a SSH thing to do. So, and then you can ask curl to verify that, to make sure that you connect to the right server, so it's not an imposter. Pretty much like you do with CA certificates with SSL or TLS, but SSH is different, and they have different mechanisms. So if you would do that, it would break if you ran it with curl with the libSSH backend. A lot of different combinations there. But we have 3 different backends for SSH support in curl these days, and this didn't work with one of them, as it did with libSSH2. Fixed now. Another crash in the other SSH backend, libSSH2, if you would have certain known hosts entries, you could get a null pointer dereference because of some silly stupidities. We merged in 7690, so that was a regression. Fixed now. We had another regression we merged a while ago. I think we merged it for 763 or so, when we fixed one problem with the curl easy dupe handle function, which when you do libcurl operations, you have easy handles. Easy handles sort of take care of one transfer, and you can duplicate that handle if you want to do another transfer similar to the first one. And that dupe handle we fixed, or bug fixed, in that version 63, I think. And then we introduced a regression because we broke some other details, namely if you set custom DNS servers and a few other options for libcurl, which libcurl supports if you build it with CARES. And now we make sure that you can do that too and still use dupe handle. Another bug fix that was just pending. It wasn't really a regression in this release last week, but we could still just merge it when we got another week. And another thing we merged just because we had another week is that we made curl version thread safer, or thread safe without a global context, which is part of my ongoing work to clean up the curl global init function to make it thread safe. And now it's sort of a step along the way. It's not completely thread safe yet, but soon it could become thread safe. So, lots of tiny details here. Most people won't really find this out or care about this, but still. Right, and as I said, then we're not changing the schedule for the next release, so we are going to make it a 7-week release cycle. Well, unless we find something really alarming this time as well, and we need to do another emergency patch release, and then I don't know how to handle. But I really, really hope and actually believe we won't have to do that. So I think let's say 7.70 in 7 weeks. A lot of sevens, right? So because I know there are changes pending, there's a PR for changes, at least with S-channel backend in TLS department. So it is most likely to be a 7.70 in the next release. Yes, that is cool. Other changes, if I'm just looking in my little thing here, the changes that I didn't mention in this blog post. For example, we also had another pending PR for fixing actually 3 different bugs in the MIME API and the MIME handling for doing multi-part stuff. And I think they were when you would do like sending SMTP with a custom callback for sending the content and stuff like that. So there were 3 different bugs there. We fixed SHA-256 to use the native encryption stuff on secure transport on WinCrypt and things like that. We fixed a few test suite issues. Right, Mark, I saw you're in the stream. So Mark is working really hard on fixing the test suite for Windows. We've had a series of flaky things in the test suite running on Windows. So we had this annoying, it turns red every now and then on AppVeyor and even the Azure pipelines environments. And that is because we have some quirks and issues left in the test suite for Windows. And it's unfortunate, but hopefully we're going in the right direction, and hopefully we will have less flaky tests, less flaky red Windows builds going forward. Who knows? That's about it about 7.69.1. There, I could mention that I didn't mention last week, right? We're 9 days away from our 22nd birthday of curl. I'm gonna do some fun blog post about that. What else? What else is there to say? Yeah, we have. I'm saving up because I didn't want to do it this week, but I'm going to send out a little warning message for curl users on Windows who use the file : protocol with curl or in their applications with libcurl, because it turns out that let me backpedal a little bit. So in our most recent security advisory for curl, we warned users that previous versions of curl would allow users to inadvertently access SMB servers, right? If you would give curl just a correct path in a file : URL, you would say curl file : / and some IP address perhaps and / and that would be converted into a path in Windows that would try to access that server as an SMB server. It turns out that first, that was not enough. It didn't actually fix all the problems. You can still pass on funky paths to curl, and it will make your Windows machine try to access other servers over the network. And apparently you can even do that with other protocols than SMB. So you can, if you're just a Windows person enough, you can come up with other crafty ways to pass in paths to curl to make it try to access other machines on your network. But since and our reporter who reported this to us, he came up with 3 new ways of doing it. So the way we fixed it in our previous security advisory obviously was completely insufficient and was just one way out of at least 4 different ways. But also, just because of all those many different ways of accessing or making your system access other hosts over the network, we've given up. So we've decided that this is not a security problem for curl. It's a feature or a security problem or whatever, but it's not curl's issue to deal with. It's just too many ways to do this and too complicated for us to try to filter it out. So I'm sure that we won't be able to filter them out even if we try to. So we will just instead convert it all into a huge warning and say, if you use file:/URLs on Windows, you can be pretty sure that if you don't filter your paths very carefully, someone will trick your application to be able to probe host names in various ways with whatever protocols your system supports. I know it's not ideal, but it seems like a way that the Windows people want applications to be able to do. So it's a feature, I think, in their view. And there's no knob for us to switch off. And you would imagine that an application could say, hey, I don't want to ever access any server remotely. I just want to read a local file system. But well, you can't really do that on Linux machines either, but Linux machines don't have that universal access from applications to other machines. You would have to have a mounted file system, and you wouldn't do that as a user. Anyway, long-winded way of saying there's going to be some warning email and blog post and updated documentation next week. And I'm saving it for next week just because I don't want to muddy the waters too much with more information since we have a release week this week. So 7.69.1 release, yeah. So that's it. The release is here. Anything else? I don't know. Is there anything else to say? Any questions? Any remarks? Any fun things? Any stories? Any coffee? It's going cold. But I talk too much. I should drink more coffee and talk less. So let's cut this stream short. This time I'm on 23 minutes or so. It'll be fine. You can always reach me on Twitter, file bugs on GitHub, post questions on the mailing list. Join us on IRC in the curl channel on Freenode. We're always there chatting on and off topic. Until later then, have a good day everyone. See you. Bye.